Ladies and gentlemen, sons and daughters of the kingdom, listen closely. This is an urgent divine alert. Many chosen ones are still not prepared for what lies ahead. Being chosen is only the beginning. Too many people think that because they've received a vision, a prophecy, or an assignment from God, they are automatically ready to step into it. However, the reality is that divine selection is merely the starting point. It's the invitation, not the fulfillment. God does not simply call people to greatness, He calls them to preparation. Without preparation, the weight of the assignment will crush the one who carries it. Without training, the promise will become a burden rather than a blessing. Look at the lives of those whom God used greatly. Every single one of them went through a season of intense preparation before stepping into their destiny. Joseph had dreams of ruling, but before he could govern, he had to be tested in the house of Potiphar, in the prison, and in the wilderness of waiting. David was anointed as king as a young shepherd boy, but he spent years running from Saul, learning leadership, humility, and warfare. Even Jesus, the Son of God, spent 30 years in obscurity before stepping into his 3-year public ministry. Why? Because the weight of an assignment requires a foundation strong enough to bear it. Many people are frustrated because they feel called, but they don't see doors opening. They've heard the voice of God, but nothing seems to be happening. They wonder why their prayers for elevation seem unanswered. Could it be that God is waiting for them to develop the character, discipline, and wisdom needed to sustain the calling? God does not promote based on desire. He promotes based on development. Anointing without preparation leads to destruction. Giftedness without maturity leads to failure. The higher the calling, the deeper the preparation. There are chosen ones who want the promise but are unwilling to endure the process. They want the platform but haven't yet developed the endurance to handle public pressure. They desire influence but lack the wisdom to deal with spiritual warfare. They long for the blessings of leadership but haven't yet been broken enough to lead with humility. God is not withholding the promise out of cruelty. He is protecting them from premature promotion. If He placed them where they wanted to be before they were ready, they would self-destruct. Many are crying out to be released into their purpose, but what they really need is to be refined in the fire of preparation. Preparation is not glamorous. It is the place of isolation where God removes everything that cannot go into the next season. It is the place of testing, where motives are purified and character is built. It is the place of pruning, where God cuts away distractions, pride, and immaturity. It is the place where endurance is developed, so that when the storm comes, the foundation does not crumble. Many wish to skip this stage, but there is no shortcut to spiritual authority. The wilderness is not a punishment, it is the training ground. The hidden years are not wasted, they are where strength is cultivated. There is a reason God does not promote before the right time. He sees what we cannot see. He knows what is coming before we do. He understands that power without discipline leads to downfall. He knows that if we step into positions we are not prepared for, we will not only fail, but we will also damage others in the process. Preparation is a sign of love. God does not rush development because rushing development leads to weak foundations. The chosen ones must embrace the process no matter how long it takes. The longer the preparation, the greater the assignment. Right now, there are people on the verge of giving up because they feel stuck in a season of waiting. But waiting is not wasted time, it is working time. It is during the waiting that faith is tested. It is during the waiting that endurance is strengthened. It is during the waiting that the chosen ones are transformed. Instead of asking God, "When will you open the door?" the better question is, "God, what are you preparing me for?" The waiting season is never about delay, it is about development. A soldier does not train on the battlefield, he trains before the war begins. The chosen must prepare before the battle arrives. Those who fail to prepare will miss their moment when it comes. God is calling his chosen ones to wake up, to get serious, and to embrace the process of refinement. The future belongs to those who are ready, not just to those who are called. God's alert is never without purpose. When he sends a warning, it is not to instill fear, but to prepare his chosen ones for what is ahead. Throughout history, God has never moved without first alerting his people.
Beneficial. 1 Corinthians 10:23. There are choices that seem good on the surface, but in reality lead to